All right, everybody. Welcome to the Let's Stay Together talk show. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're a little bit behind schedule because we're on a different day, and so we do have some things that are going on. But welcome to the show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Brenda. How you doing, baby?
Doing good. Feel like I'm coming down with something, but we gonna make it on through. It is a happy Wednesday. And for those, we hope you are joining us on this different day. But I do want to do a shout out before we get started because we got a great topic to talk about. But happy 70th birthday to the best brother-in-law in the world, my only one, Mr. LB. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday to my brother, who is, of course, turned 70 years old. And what you have is called TT, it's not what it's called, the TTC, the Trump Trauma Code.
Is that it?
That's what
Yeah.
it
I'm
just,
just a
you
shocked.
just, you got the Trump Trauma Code that is happening
Oh,
to you. So for those of you all that are probably looking on Facebook and YouTube, you'll see me for a moment with my Chicago Bears hat for people in Chicago. We got Ben Johnson, who came from Detroit, was a covenant person they were trying to get. And so, Ben Johnson, welcome to Chicago from the Let's Stay Together talk show. I am going to take off this hat. I don't usually like the way I look in hats. I think I look better, I look better bald than I do in the hat. So I just keep it on my thing here until it falls off. But hey, we got a great show coming up. We got a lot of things that are happening. Our session is probably going to be a lot about Trump and the things that Trump are doing. I mean, it's the stuff that he's doing is just totally amazing. And I don't know how we're doing he's doing all this in the first 3 days, but we're gonna be talking about that. We may still venture off on helpmate and helpless, but we're gonna be talking a little bit about the current administration and the crazy things that he has done in the first 3 days. I wrote
oh,
down there on my Twitter page, and I'm sure they're probably gonna ban me after this. There's, a couple of days ago, I wrote down we only have 1,460 days until Trump's out of office. So the countdown has started. But in the first 3 days of his administration, he has just went ballistic and crazy. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to give a shout out to SOAR Radio, SOAR Awards. Justin, for bringing up SOAR Awards. You got the SOAR Assembly, the SOAR Rockford thing coming up. I don't know if you still got those papers.
I don't have it with me
Um,
now.
the SOAR Rockford scenario that's going up, and that's coming up in February. And then we also have the SOAR Awards 2025, and I think that's March the 3rd. Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong.
March the
March the 3rd.
3rd.
That's coming up as well. We got some of the singers that's going to be at the SOAR. Kenny, what is the thing called for February? I don't want to call it SOAR Assembly. What is it called again? Because I don't have the document up. Yeah, SOAR Award Choir Edition. So it's going to have some great things out there in February that you can go out to Rockford to see. But this year, and many, many years to come, I'm a prophet of predicting that SOAR Radio, SOAR Awards are in Chicago this year, and I am predicting it'll never leave Chicago ever again.
Wow.
Uh,
I'm excited about it. I mean, every year we get around this time, get very excited about it, coming to Rockford, doing our thing. But to have it here in our city, it's going to be a blessing. I really do believe that to so many here. And it's not too late to get those tickets. So if you are in the Chicago area land, please, it's posted on our pages. Go to Soar Radio. I believe it's Eventbrite, or I'm not sure. But if I'm not, go to our pages and get those tickets because I know you guys love Yolanda Adams. I know you do.
Jacqueline Carr, Tickelocity.com.
Get those tickets and join us. I'm saying join us. You guys are used to us in Chicago. That's the station we do our fabulous show on, Soar Radio. So this big event that we've been talking about for the past 5 years, it is here. So join us. And who knows, join us and have some
Come
fun.
join us. Come join us.
Yeah, come
You got to be a
join
bit
us.
older to know that because that comes from a Dick Van Dyke show that was in the 70s. So I just show how old I am. But yeah, make sure you come and join us. I mean, it's coming to Chicago. I mean, especially churches out there. We're trying to get churches to, broadcast it. Justin was on our show and then he came on the AC Green show. And I heard they had a fabulous time with that. We're still trying to do some promotion and get him on radio and television here. Well, I should say Brenda's doing that part right now because she's got those connections. People like Brenda for some reason more than they like me. I don't know why, because I am probably the most friendliest out of the two. But
see the way Kenny looking?
no, I'm not. But people just they fall for that nice facade that Brenda gives.
It's not a facade.
And I'm like,
My heart is
yeah.
good. They see that.
No.
I could barely hear Kenny. But
You
yeah,
don't need to hear Kenny.
it is going to be a very good award show. If you never been to it, I know some Chicago folks go to Rockford, but if you never been to it, join us. It's going to be really nice.
Okay, so I'm getting some directions that I can't. We're still having a couple of technical difficulties here, and I'm trying to get some things done. But hold on, I know. Wait a minute. But wow, I can't really see that. Here we go. This is what I love about Kenny. Kenny can do things from anywhere. He's omnipresent. You know, he can do things from anywhere. So we did have a little technical difficulties going with the show, and we're trying to fix those right now. But we're good now. So hey, let's get on. I mean, none of the things we're going to talk about. Let's get into the show. We were supposed to be having a guest. I was trying to get a guest. I don't know, some of y'all that listen to the show here on Soar Radio, Facebook, and YouTube, you know that we are also theater critics here in the Chicagoland area. Me and Brenda sees, up to 200 plays a year. And we got a chance to see a play that I think we talked about last week. It's called Yaya's African Hair Braiding. I was trying to see if I can get the playwright, director, or someone from the show to be one of our guests tonight. However, the issues that we have with the show being in the evening is because the plays run in the evening. And so technically, when they have plays there, they want the playwright, the director, and anyone that's associated to the play being there on site for the play, just in case anything happens or something like that. They want them there, and so it's very difficult to get someone at the 7 p.m., 9 p.m., between the 7 and 9 p.m. hour to do that. What we typically wind up doing is that we have to, do an interview with them early in the afternoon, like 1 or 2 p.m. And so we were trying to see if we can get someone from the show. It's an excellent show here at Shakespeare, Chicago Shakespeare Theater. We talked about it. I gave it 3.5 stars. Brenda gave it 4, and we really enjoyed it. So we're unfortunately we won't have the guest today for that, but we will be talking about another play that we saw called Fat Ham and give you our thought process on that. It's another African American play, and I'm so proud of these theaters right now, Brenda, that they're actually doing African American plays in January.
Right, you're gonna get a few next month, and then it's gonna be scarce to the end of the year.
You gotta get a couple of, and I'm like, wow, look at this. They're being proactive. They're actually showing African American plays, not in February. This is, how does Kevin Hart say, oh my goodness. I can't believe that they're doing that, but it's so nice to see Goodman Theater in correlation in collaboration with Definition Theater as doing the Fat Ham, and Shakespeare did the Yaya's African Hair Braiding. And so kudos to them for actually doing African American plays not in the month of February. So good for them. But let's go on what we're gonna be talking about today.
For Christian Real, will Trump?
I put a thing out there earlier about Trump, and I've got so much stuff out here about Trump. I don't even know where to start. But I put something out there earlier about Trump, and I said that we only have 1,460 days before Trump is out of office. Let the countdown begin. so we can get back to a period where we don't have to worry about racism, bigotry, and hate. Um, and The amazing thing about it is that so many things that Trump is doing, people are so surprised about it, babe. But I sent something out there as an event for people to come and join us on Facebook, to put their grievance. But I talked about it for a while. Um, Go back and look at Project 2025 and start seeing what Trump is doing already in 3 days, which is so amazing. In 3 days, the decrees and things that he's wrote and things that he's done, has just been ridiculous. Um, he is following the playbook. And I'm just so surprised that people are saying, "Oh, I'm so surprised." I'm so surprised Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible. I mean, okay, are you surprised? Now, just historical fact, he's not the first one who did that. There was other presidents before him that didn't put their hand on the Bible. I think one put his hand on the law book. Another one put it on some Catholic. They call it Messiahus or something. But I mean, I'm thinking that at that time they just didn't have it. One was, I think it was a L.B. Johnson, was on a ship and they didn't have a Bible, at the
On the
time.
plane.
On a plane. You said on a plane.
Yeah, wasn't that the one that took the position after
Yeah, but
Kennedy
I mean,
was
when he
on the
did his
plane?
swearing in, he wasn't.
Right.
He didn't have a Bible there, and I can look back at that. I said I think it's L.B. Johnson, but he wasn't on the plane when he did it. The swearing in. It's a lot of things that have happened with those people where they may have not had a Bible. But Trump can make America great again.
That's
But
why
yet,
he was spared.
he didn't. Right. And he refused to put his hand on there. Refused to sing "God Bless America," but yet he was saved by God
hmm
to
You know
do
what's
this for America.
the oxymoron with that is that you were saying God spared you to make America great again. So I interpret that as God showed mercy and grace and favor upon you. But you're calling the minister stupid because she's asking you the same thing to show grace and mercy upon the immigrants. And he up at God knows in the wee hours of the morning tweeting how stupid she is. It's like, wow. It's just with him, you don't see, like we're not surprised because he gave us a step by step playbook and people didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
And Kamala, she told us, she warned us, this is no joke. He's off the hinges, and he's going to come in with vengeance. And that's exactly what he's doing. It's just the roll of the dice haven't hit certain people yet. When it start hitting and hurting you, you're gonna be cackling. Why did we vote for him? I don't understand anybody who voted for this man. It's hard for me to have empathy for him.
So going back on the same vein that I was talking about, because you went off.
Just go ahead.
The Betty Shabazz thing, because we're gonna be talking about this.
Go ahead. Betty Shabazz is gonna be going into.
We're talking about the priest, the female priest that did that. I got a video actually we're going to show on Facebook, on YouTube. But I wanted to go back to talking about him not putting his hand on the Bible because I wanted to say to the evangelicals who said they were voting for Trump because of his Christian beliefs that he has. What do you think now where a man who originally said, "I love Christians, I love Christians, I love Christians. I'm not a Christian, but I love Christians. I love them, I love them. I love them like never before. No other president has ever loved them." I mean, he's did this, but yet he didn't put his hand on the Bible, which has been a tradition since Abraham Lincoln. He refused to. Now, they used to swear on the Bible, then afterwards kiss it. Which was a tradition that kind of stopped. You see, some may still do it, but tradition has kind of stopped. But they've all have sworn on the Bible to keep the oath of the United States. So help me God. But Trump refused to do that. So evangelicals, with all the things that Trump is doing right now, do you really believe that he is going to follow or do anything um, remotely following that? Now, here's a man, one other thing. Here's a man who refused to put his hand on the Bible to give the oath, but sold the Bible, what he called the Trump Bible, which provided information about what Trump believed in the Bible, and these people bought them. I mean, so basically making himself a God over God. I'm selling the Trump Bible. I mean, how do you make the Bible your own? But yet
He's a narcissist.
he did that, and this is what you call a person who's trying to be his own deity. So here's some of the things that Trump did on his first day of office. He made a proclamation on flying the flag at half staff. This was due to the fact that Jimmy Carter had passed away, and the Congress had made a declaration to fly the flag half staff for 30 days to honor the death of a president. The flag, excuse me, flown. The flag will never be flown half staff during an inauguration of a president. He did an executive order rescinding previous executive orders. He executive order of freedom of speech. Trump issued a executive order entitled "Restoring the Freedom of Speech and Ending Federal Censorship" that claims that Biden administration trampled free speech rights for censoring America's speech on online platforms under the guidance of combating disinformation and misinformation. So he's saying, we're not going to stop their freedom of speech of giving wrong information, because he loves that kind of stuff. Just wrong information. That's all he was giving us most of the time anyway. So he issued an executive order ending the weaponization of the federal government that directs the Attorney General to identify and take appropriate action to correct, support political involvement, law enforcement activity at the Department of Justice and Security and Exchange Commissions and the Federal Trade Commission. So he's done that. He did a referendum ending remote work. He's stopping any government people from working at home now. Trump issued a referendum titled "Return in Person to Work," which orders federal employees and executive branch to terminate all remote work arrangements. Referendum. Say that word for me. I'm talking too fast. Memorandum. Thank you. Memorandum limiting new regulations. A memorandum stopping federal hiring. A memorandum on emergency price relief. So you're not going to get any more price relief anymore. And so basically, the memorandum entitled "Delivering Emergency Price Relief for American Families and Defeating the Cost of Living Crisis." Trump declared executive departments and agencies to implement the so-called emergency price relief measure to lower the cost of housing, healthcare, food, and food costs. So he's removing that. He also did a executive order withdrawing from international climate agreement. This is just day one. A proclamation pardoning over 1,500 people who was a part of the riot in January the 6th. Executive order delaying the ban of TikTok. They wanted to ban it, but of course, Trump came in and wanted to be the savior. He did an executive order withholding from the World Health Organization. Some of y'all don't even know what this stuff is, but you need to read it. Executive order hiring and firing federal employees. Now, this is just day one. I mean, there's so much. Executive order revoking security clearances. He did a proclamation declaring the national emergency at the border. So he's sending soldiers to the border so people can go through. He did a dissolving delayed security clearances. So if you had a security clearance before, he's removed it. He did a memorandum on trade, and all of this is just one day. He deployed troops to the border. We talked about that. He had executive order suspending refugees resettlement. Trump has suspended the U.S. Refugees Assignment Program, an executive order detailing realigning the United States Refugees Admission Program. He did an executive order to redefine birthright citizenship. So that means if someone is an illegal alien that is not a U.S. citizen in the United States and their child is born in the United States, under the 14th Amendment, they are legally considered citizens of the United States. But Trump has put in an executive order to redefine that, to remove their rights of being a citizen, even though they were born in the United States, because the family or the mother
is a foreigner.
Yeah, but not to him.
But I mean, if you're doing
She's
that
got
to
an
other
exempt clause.
people, Jesus.
I mean, you're looking for rationale and reasoning. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. He did an executive order expanding the use of the death penalty. So he's got an order to restore the death penalty and protecting public safety. So he's going to restore, in certain states, give them the rights to restore, bringing back the death penalty of killing people who they believe who has done heinous crimes. Yet he released at the Capitol. I mean, so basically what it is you do something to me, you're okay. But other than that, you can get the death penalty. But they were released. Now Biden issued commutations for 37 of 40 federal death row inmates in December, which Trump can't reverse. But he's probably ticked off about it. I can't even tell you how many of these things that I'm passing up that he did memorandum executive orders on. I'm just trying to look at some of them that are. This is just the first day. Now, also what we know is that Trump removed the DEI of the 1965 Equal Rights Amendment, now allowing companies not to have to hire people based on discrimination of the skin, but now it's just a merit system. Now, even though this was in order, we still know that a majority of jobs will sit there and not hire you because of the color of your skin. They don't have to do it. In a lot of states, it's an fault. They don't have, they can fire you at no cause. And so, even though this was in there, still a lot of companies were still seeing someone. They will interview you, but eventually, if they see you or they hear the name or something like that, they don't have to do the interview. They'll contact you. I mean, I used to have a lot of problems, and probably still do now, because my name was Ricardo McCain. So most people thought I was Hispanic, so that stopped me. So I, on my resumes, I started putting Rick McCain. And then when they saw me, they didn't want to hire me because I was black. And so it's always been out there, but now Trump is giving companies a precedent to be okay with that. What they can do in hiring. Executive order tightening immigration law and restricting federal funds for sanctuary cities. Trump is already telling ICE that they can go into schools and they can go into churches and pull out immigrants. This is the first day. So all those Latinos, it happened to me, but he could take away your birthright. If he doesn't believe that you were here illegally, he has an order that they can go through for taking away your birthright. Executive order restricting the visa seeking from certain countries. Executive order for an American first foreign policy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
And most people would get a few of these executive orders taken care of within the first 100 days, not within the first 48 hours. I think the last order.
Oh, he's way past that.
That was probably day one.
Yeah, this is. Here's another one. Executive order defining gender and rollback transgender protection. So now, it's just going to be a two-sex thing, which I don't necessarily have a big problem with, but it is going against gender people. Because now you can't do that. It's just going to be male and female DEI programs. Trump dismantled federal DEI programs and executive order titles ending racial and wasteful government DEI programs and programs. The order calls for the termination of all DEI accessibility and environmental justice office and positions across the federal government. So what they're doing right now, they're going to be a DEI. I think it's diversity, equality, and inclusion, which DEI is. And then an executive order for merit-based federal hiring.
Trump really hitting hard with the federal.
Trump further took aim at the DEI initiative and executive order title reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to the government service. The order blocks federal hiring based on race, sex, and religion, describing diversity hiring practice as illegal, racially discriminating under the guise of equality or one sex, as well as the hiring of individuals who are unwilling to defend the Constitution, or to faithfully serve the executive branch instead of cause. So I'm just going to read that part. Executive order to designate certain Latino American gangs and cartels as terrorist organizations. I mean, the stuff that he comes up with, he's going to executive order to rename the Gulf. Crazy things. And we talked about this in Project 2021 that he 2025. So, I mean, he's also done some things like immigrants who are out of the country. It's very difficult now to them to come back in the country or to leave the country. So he's put the executive order for that as well. So that's just on Trump's first day. Now, there's so much more that he has done here. It's just unbelievable. But basically, you see all of this and you say, wow. You know that they have had to have a plan to put all of this in order. And so this is why I say to Americans right now, why are you surprised? Why are you so surprised with what Trump has done? Because he said he was going to do it. Now, just read one thing. I'm going to read a small list for what he did on day 3, and I probably talked about a little of this. The Pentagon sending 1,500 active troops to the U.S. border. That's to keep, immigrants from coming. The Federal Health Administration will go dark through the end of the month, suspending all regulation, guidance, and communications. Roughly 160 National Security Council staffs will be sidelined and returned to other agencies. The move is meant to ensure the council is staffed by those who support Trump agendas. Refugees approved to resettlement in the United States have had travel canceled. So refugees approved to resettle in the United States have had their travel canceled, stranding thousands across the globe. Among those affected, more than 16 stuff that he has done is just unbelievable. And he's written within a short period of time. But I say to these African Americans, he has removed diversity and equality inclusion. He's going to try to remove the 1965 Equal Rights Amendment. And yet you thought Trump was going to do something?
And better be careful. In another year or two, we probably won't have the right to vote no more.
Yeah. He already said, if you vote for me, you won't have to worry about voting again. Mm-hmm. But what Trump has basically done, and I know some white people are going to get mad at me about this. This is one of the reasons I say, I have a lot of problems with getting sponsors, because sponsors want to be able to, don't say that. And I'm not saying this because I dislike white people. I'm saying this because I just dislike dishonesty and people who do dishonest things. I don't like wrong. He is setting this up so America can be under the authority of the rich and the white.
Yeah.
It's just as plain and simple that you can make it. He is setting this up so the rich can get richer and the whites will think that they've got some power back in the days of the clans. I mean, this is the only thing, and he ran on that, and people voted for him on that. They were more concerned. They were more willing to have this individual in the office who has been sexist against women.
You notice all of that just went away.
You know, he's quid pro pro. He has been impeached, has lied, has stolen, tax evader. You know,
and he probably stole
all
this election.
all of this. Who knows? All of this stuff. They would rather have him in the office instead of a fair-minded African American woman who would have tried to look out for all America. So I mean, Kenny's got this tape that I sent him, the video. You had brought it up earlier, and I'm telling you what we're gonna do. We're gonna listen to the music right now before we do that, and then we're gonna listen to this tape from the female pastor parishioner. They don't call the Catholics call them something else. I can't think. They don't call them a bishop. Thank you, Kenny. A bishop. As she made a plea to Donald Trump. We're going to come back to that because if you haven't seen that, I suggest you go to Facebook, YouTube while you're listening to Soar Radio, 2-time Stellar Award winner station for best internet station of the year and the 2025 Soar Awards in Chicago. You need to check that out. But hey, listen to that. The songs that we have that we're listening to today are coming from some people who are going to be singing in February. And we've got here Crystal Akins, and it says, I Can Handle It. That's coming up. Got a couple of commercials, and we'll be right back. Hey, this is Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo, off the Brittany McCain. Stay with us. We don't got any guests, but we're talking about something that's very important. What's going on in the Trump organization for the first Trump administration for the first 3 years, and how I'm just surprised that
3 years. You mean
I'm 3 days. I said 3 years. Ooh, Lord, I'm pushing them out already. 3 days. Thank you, baby. You my helpmate. You ain't been helpless over there. Thank you, baby. But 3 days. That what he's done, it just makes me wonder, why are people so surprised? I'm just trying to figure out why y'all surprised. So listen up. We'll be right back. What you got for some stories for our YouTube and Facebook people?
Well, I want to know what is wrong with Snoop Dogg and Nelly. I mean, Snoop Dogg faces backlash, as he should, for performing at Trump inauguration ball in D.C. after being anti-Trump before. Now, publicly, when he was running against, I think it was Obama in 2019, you couldn't get enough of talking about Trump. How Trump this, Trump that, blah, 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 blah. You be wrong to vote for him. He ain't for us. He ain't for black people. Now, all of a sudden, you're performing at his inauguration ball. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do. I get that. But to me, if you're not one